G'day, and welcome to B is for Build. We're on the hunt for the elusive Aston Martin V8 Vantage windshield and a better accent. Stay tuned. Aston Martin V8 Vantage windshields are pretty hard to come by, period. Even at dealerships and everywhere else. It seems to be a theme with supercars. I know people that have paid thousands and thousands of dollars for them. I got a line on a place called PK Auto Parts that scraps out exotic cars that has one of these windshields. So we're gonna head down there now and see if we can get it and get it back to the shop. I got Jesse with me. We're gonna try and hold it in the back of the truck. I don't know, let's get down there and see what it looks like. We're here at PK Auto, we have arrived, we found the windshield, it looks great. We also found some really cool stuff too that I think you guys are gonna like. Let's get it loaded up. This is actually a much tighter fit than I had expected. All right, we've got the windshield in the car. We just have to be really careful now not to break it. I think I'm gonna ride in the back with it and Jesse is gonna drive us back to the shop. Yeah, that's how we're filming. We got it back in one piece. It's raining, it's crazy, it's all flooding. This is nonsense. We gotta get in the shop. All right, the windshield is officially secured and safe and sound at home. That's where it's gonna sit for a little bit. We're not gonna install it in this episode. I'm actually gonna pay a professional to install this one on the car because I'm so worried about breaking it. I've never had a problem with any of the windshields or glass that I've installed on any of the cars. But this one for some reason scares me. So huge thanks to PK Auto Parts. I put a link to in the description to their website. That's where I got this. The dude was cool enough to cut it out of another car that he had it in, which you risk breaking it when you do that, but he was like, we can do it, we can get it for you. And that was super awesome. So while I was down there, I decided to pick one more thing up. Check it out. Extra rear brake calipers. Now these brake calipers are massive. They're pretty much the size of a front set of brake calipers for most cars. But these are Aston Martin V8 Vantage rear brake calipers, just like what I have on my car right now. And for drifting, you want to run a dual caliper setup. Now because these are so big, we might not even be able to fit them on the car, but I'm going to try my best with fabrication and science to get these on the car. And then you essentially plumb your hydro e-brake directly into these, and they're the designated hardcore e-brake slidey brake pads. Brake caliper, brake setup. So that's pretty awesome. Now, I just got word that I have a package back home and I have a feeling it's a wide body kit. I'm gonna run back home, come back to the shop, and let's see if we can test fit our wide body kit. They finally came in the mail, all the way from Russia. These are, I said wide body kit earlier, this definitely isn't a kit. These are some universal wide body fender flares that I have never seen on this car. Nobody's ever seen on this car because no one's cut up an Aston Martin to do this craziness. But we're about to do it right now. Let's go ahead and unbox these and see how they look on the car. Well, it looks pretty cool and aggressive on film, but once you get closer, you can tell it's not really working out very well. It's a great quality fender flare. It's a little bit thin. It's not the type of kit that you can like lean on. Like the Rocket Bunny kits, you could straight up just lean on the car and you wouldn't worry about it. These ones are a little bit less durable. But here's the thing: they have these flush-mounted holes that poke through, so they want the fender to mount flat. So if you put it flat, like on the flat part of the wheel arch, what happens is obviously it comes down a good deal, and then your wheel arch has been lowered like 3 inches down or something like that. So it's going to give a lowering effect to the car of almost 3 inches when the car is not actually lowered, which will make the wheel, like right now the wheel looks decent, but once it actually was compressed, it would look silly. And then once you lower the car even more, it'll look really silly. So what happens is now we have to pull this off, right? And these things on the inside here that you can see, all these little knobs, they're not wanting to, like, we need to put it kind of up here-ish, which is gonna fix a lot of problems. It gets wider, it doesn't lower that wheel arch too much, but then you have this thing sticking off of here, like this. I don't know if you guys can see very well, but that's gonna be a problem. If I cut those off, I don't know what's going to happen. So these are going to be a bit more of a task than I thought. It's not going to be a straight bolt-on application. There's going to be a lot of messing with these kind of indentations that come out of here, sanding them down and figuring out how we can have a clean mounting spot. for each one. One thing I could do is I could basically like round them all off and fiberglass over all of them and then just drill one hole through the back of them. But yeah, it's gonna get tricky. This is gonna be tricky. But I wanna go ahead and continue test fitting, so I'm gonna test fit the front and the back. This is that moment for me when you build a digital rendering and then you kind of get to see what it's going to look like in real life for the first time, and it's just like super aggressive and super crazy and you get super excited and you're like, I just want it now. Like, it looks crazy on the computer, but seeing it in real life, it's just like, I'm so excited. This is going to be such a unique Aston Martin. So yeah, we got some stuff to work through. We have some problems because these aren't laying down flat, but once we sand and fiberglass and adjust and readjust and fix and adjust again, this is gonna work. The only thing that would make this better is if we had the wheels that we were putting on the car. But wait, we do! Be right back. These are my new Konig centigrams. They are 19 by 9.5 with a 0 offset in the front and a 19 by 10.5 with a 0 offset in the back. If you guys don't know what offset is, you should look it up and learn about it when you're doing your wheel shopping. But essentially a 0 offset means that the mounting face is smack dab in the middle of the wheel. And then as you change offsets, that moves it forward and backwards. So your car or your wheel either comes out wider on your car or sinks in and goes a little bit more on your car. Like I said, these are Konig wheels. Konig has been very, very supportive of the channel. Before, they hooked us up with these wheels for the build, and they have hooked us up with plenty of wheels in the past. So huge thanks to Konig. They make affordable, high quality wheels. These are flow form wheels, so they're very lightweight, but still very durable. And it's a great, great company, great brand, great product, and they do a lot for the community. I've been really digging working with car companies and different things that help out with the YouTube community as a whole, and the automotive community and the racing community, and Konig sure as hell does its part. You'll probably see their wheels on a lot of different things out there, and that's because they're very generous and they like to support the community. So if it were up to me and I had a recommendation, I would say support back, guys. When you're looking for wheels, look at Konig first. And yeah, so the next thing we're going to do is even at a 0 offset, which pushes the wheel face out towards our wide body kit, makes it much wider than the stock one. I should have kind of showed you what it would look like with the stock fender. It hangs out past the stock fender by a good inch. What we're going to do now is measure the amount of spacing that we're going to want to gain. So because I'm going to get some spacers for these to space them out even a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead, Chelsea and I are going to measure and see what kind of spacing we're going to want to do on the front and on the rear. They're pretty close, so I don't think it's going to be a lot, but it'll be a little bit. More spacing will set the wheel out even more, which will change our pinching radius when we go ahead and crank the wheel all the way, which means we get a little bit more steering angle out of it, which is good for a drift car. Here we go. That looks good. It looks really good. I'm so stoked about this wide body setup. So last night we went ahead and measured the gap. It's looking like we need about 1.5 inches to 1 inch on the front end and no more than 1 inch on the back end. So I actually ordered a variety of different size spacers and a ton of different type of lug nuts, locking lug nuts, and all sorts of other stuff so we can attach these wheels to the car. The car has a really strange lug. It's like a lug off of a Ford F-150. I think they actually use truck lugs on this car, because it's got so much power. So I got all the stuff to kind of adapt to get us to where we want to be with that. So we're good to go. I'm gonna need a couple days for it to come in the mail, and that's gonna change how we do things in the order a little bit, but it's no problem. So moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and get the car down onto its stock wheels roller and kind of shift positions in the shop so we can focus on the front end and start to button up some of these front end things. All right, we got the car back in its natural habitat. It's about time I do some work on this thing, but first, since you guys have so kindly bugged me for the last 2 weeks to do it, I'm gonna clean the dirt and leaves and crap off the car. I'm gonna give it a quick clean down before we get started. Got it cleaned up a little bit. I hope that makes you guys a little bit happier. It's not super clean. It will be clean in the next episode, I promise you that. Uncovered some unfortunate sap deposits from the trees on the back window and a little bit on the trunk lid, and that's super annoying because that's hard to clean off, but oh well. Next thing I'm going to start working on is the hood hinge for the passenger side. So that's the one for the driver's side. That's all okay. I don't think it's damaged at all. It seems to go up and down just fine. The one over here, I've partially removed the fender to show you, completely ripped off and snapped off right here. So we're going to get into this and figure out how it bolts onto the car and dismount that and put the replacement one on there. As well as we'll go ahead and now put the replacement side mirror cap cover thing on. We had some success and some failure. Big failure is Aston Martin sent me the wrong mirror cover. So they sent me the mirror cover for the newer Aston Martins, the new VA Vantage, and we have the older one. We have a 2008. So fingers crossed they can get me another one before the California road trip, or we're gonna look a little silly driving down the road. But gotta do what you gotta do. So I'll get another one in the mail tomorrow. This worked out perfectly though. We got a new hood hinge bolted right on there. I did a little delete of the hood struts. I have some other struts that I may use, but they're not exactly the right size. I don't want to really risk it on an aluminum hood, so we can just do the standard skateboard hood stand or whatever we got to do later on. But so that's that for now. Next thing that I want to do is mock up all the body panels. So we have front fenders, front bumper, and the hood that I would like to do a mocked up like official mounting of. So you're going to see me do a little bit of modification, especially on this fender right here, because we have a little bit of material that's sticking out, and this needs to be trimmed up right here. And so I'll modify what we need to modify. I will, you know, change what we need to change, which is another way of saying modify, and, I'm going to try and get all these panels to mount up and look right and have the right panel gap on the car. This is a big moment. This is a big moment. I'm really hoping this goes smoothly. For the first time, the car has its hood and fenders and front bumper and everything all bolted up. It looks beautiful. I'm so excited about it. That's so awesome. All right, guys, that is where I'm gonna end this one. I think I'm the most excited about seeing these fender flares on the car for the first time. That was something I really wanted to get done. Now, I'm learning that there's a little bit more work that's gonna need to go into shaping these flares to make them fit the car. But once we do, oh, it's gonna look so good. We're adding 6 inches of width to this car, which is just gonna make it look, it's what's really gonna put it over the top and make it look crazy. So I'm super stoked on that. Big thanks again to Konig Wheels. Our Konig Wheels look so good on this build. And in the next episode, we're gonna wrap the whole car in white. So we're gonna have our white car with our black wheels, and that color combo with all of our other black trim and stuff is really gonna set this car off. So I'm super stoked on that. Please tune in for that as well. That's it, guys. If you like Beast Rebuild, you want to help out and support, and you want to get some of our newest merch, order it right now. We got beanies, long sleeve shirts, and hoodies available for pre-sale right now. If you want to get them before Christmas, you got to get them on pre-sale. If not, things are going to ship after Christmas, because that's when we get our next round of those in. Makes sense, right? Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to find us also at more places, head over to us on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all those things. We're all on there as BS Rebuild. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one. Please remember to like and subscribe. Peace!